All right, well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from Bhutan. We're here where we finished a successful landing into Paro here in Bhutan. We're at 7,300 feet MSL. We're talking a little on the quieter side. My wife is on the phone. That's why we were a little delayed in getting fully rolling with the stream. And what we might do is just play another song here and give her some time to clear up her call. So we'll be right back momentarily. Okay, folks. All right, sorry for that delay there. Just a little respect there while she's on the phone. We figured we'd just extend our little intro out about two songs, and that seemed to do the trick. We're here in Baro, Bhutan, one of the most challenging approaches to get into, so obviously it's going to be a little difficult to get out of. And the weather is not on our side this evening. Actually, I've got the time set for morning, and yeah, we're pretty foggy here. Um, so I'm trying, well, let's just kind of just kind of swinging around, letting you see why it's a little nerve-wracking. That's where we're going to be going out, is that way. And of course, we know there's mountains that way that we cannot see. So it's a little nerve-wracking to look like that. So um, we're going to go ahead and do our pre-flight and get rolling here in the cockpit. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Sim Toolkit, um, just because that's where we do our pre-flight from. Alright, so as you can see on Sim Toolkit Pro, um, we are heading to Bangkok today out of here. Uh, Currently, the plan of attack is a couple of fixes, PR 704 and 708 to Pro, Papa Romeo Oscar VOR, then Papa Romeo 798 to Sud IV, and then Belku, Doc, BGO, Willa, Arcoa, Romy, MA19R, and our goal is one left today. Only reason I selected that runway, cargo is at the end. But we're going to be parking in the terminal. I totally forgot about it, so it really doesn't matter if we land on one right, one left. I think the real airline that services here, Druck Air. Oh, excuse me for the yawn there, but Druck Air parks in a middle terminal-like area. Think of Seattle. You know, you have those satellite terminals, something like that, except it's in the midfield area. So, anyway, today's loadout is 22,000 pound payload. We got to keep the plane light. Two reasons. One, as I said in the beginning, we're 7,300 feet above sea level. Two, it is still a warmer climate than you'd expect here, so we have difficulties with engine performance any heavier. Mainly if we have to come back. So the breakdown, we got 100 passengers. Oh, and all of a sudden, seems like a sleepy pilot. But anyway, he'll wake up here with a few more belts of coffee. But again, 100 passengers, and they're fill out for the 22,000 pounds of cargo, or with cargo. So we have a payload of 22,000, ramp weights 134, 843 on the pounds, and we'll be putting on 20,949 pounds of fuel. Reason, I actually thought this was a shorter flight than it really is. It's actually by air distance, the route we're going here, 1,083 miles. So it's going to take a couple hours, but not extreme like yesterday, hopefully. And we all know this plane, so we can step through it a lot quicker. Cruise altitude is 37,000, and here's our fuel breakdown over here. Looks like 3153. So we'll probably go with 5.3 for our reserve. And there's our block. Okay, and then we'll break down here. This will give you our out and in. Now, this is not accurate because this is set up for the flight. We're going to try for a 16:55 departure. That's a half hour from now. We'll see. And we're looking at a 3-hour flight. Sorry for the clearing of the throat there. 100 passengers, 1,000 pounds of cargo, 22,000 pound payload. And there's our fuel, bringing us up to a takeoff weight way under our gross of 134.3. The professional flight planner said if you get it to 134.3, the 737 should be able to take off. We're going to set it up so it gets to that somehow. And now I'm going to start coughing. Great. All right, so there you go with the quick breakdown of the flight. Wind charts and all. Here's the route of the flight so you all have a clue. We're basically going to run along the coast. We'll get some good shots in here with the Himalayas behind us, and then we'll run down the coast to Bangkok. Significantly, we have some turbulence to deal with. It looks like, let's find out. Turbulence, both 30 and 40,000. And then I'm not really sure what we got going on, but we'll be on the guard for everything. Wind-wise, we're going to be at 37. Well, this will give you a clue. Kind of got a pretty much a zonal flow west to east all the way. However, it'll switch to a little bit of a tailwind on this portion of the leg, and then we'll get back into that zonal. So, and here's 39,000. Again, still showing the zone. Some more zonal there, so we'll see how this all plays out. But there you go, folks. There's our pre-flight for the day. We'll get hopefully a departure brief in this time around. Missed it last time, and I think the time before that too. So we'll get on those here momentarily. So let's swing back into the cockpit here and get ready to press on. Okay, everyone knows we got a 737 in front of us, and I'm working up the new, basically the new numbers. What I'm trying to do, hang on a second, where are we at right now? Okay, so I just need to come down 2.7 over. Basically why I'm concerned over here is, come on mouse, play nice. Here, I'll give it to you in a nutshell here. And compute. Okay, there we go. What it gives me is my takeoff data, my V1 VR rotate, or V1 V rotate V2, and I really like having that to be able to back up what the FMS has given me. And it's just taking a little time. There it is. Landing. Sometimes it takes a few seconds over here, and unfortunately I can't show you all of this. It's on a different computer. And we'll update and release. Yes, overwrite. Okay. All right, so there we go. So when we get to that point in the departure brief, we got the V speeds and we can verify. Okay, so let's, we already know our payload, which was 22,000. Hang on a second here. Even, so oh, now we're too heavy. Just getting our cargo to get us as close as we can. That'll work within 80 pounds. Let's see. We'll go with it because it's up here where we'd have to make changes. All right, so we've got our payload now to that point. We'll come back. Let's bump our fuel up. Fuel needed to be 20,949. That's going to take some time to load. So we'll put that in there. And that's going to bring us up. They're showing a higher, well, yeah, higher takeoff weight. Hang on. What? Okay, let's see what that brings us down to. I didn't think it'd bring us down much. Wow. Well, we'll try. We'll keep going. I got to get her down, so. Okay, we'll go with that. That's what our takeoff weight needs to be. We'll see once we're filled up if we can squeeze more bags on or not. So, all right, so we're set right now to start taking on fuel and prepping the cabin out. So, let's go back 2 more. Whoop. And we'll start the servicing behind us. Bear with me here a second, folks. We had sounds turned down. I'm going to bring them up just a tad. See if things are not tolerable. Okay. See if it's that one. Okay. Okay, we'll leave it like that for now. All right, so we're at a point where we can start our checklists. Do our preliminary. We know the battery switch is on and we know we're on GPU because we saw everything. Up to the top here, all the way up. Okay, so we're going to check our devices, flight recorder, Mach, airspeed warning 1, warning 2, stall warning. Okay, EECs are guarded, oxygen good, passenger oxygen normal, 3 green, service center phone off. Turn those off, we'll realign. Now, what I just did there, by moving this to heading status, when we turn this on, it's going to tell you how many minutes. So you got 6 minutes to alignment. All right, so real quick, continuing this checklist, and then we'll go right into it. IRS is a change, voice recorder check, flight deck access. We're not going to close the door yet. Okay. Service center phone off, electrical or engine panel set, oxygen panel set, landing gear. We saw the 3, so we know the gear is showing down lock. Flight recorder guard pass, stall warning, and Mach warning checked. And we just have to check the parking brake. And that is on and illuminated. And just for my sake, it is gear handle down. Reason I checked yesterday's flight, folks, in the 747, that was actually up. So make sure you check that. I don't know if that was just some fluke or what. So, and if you heard that, I don't know why that's so loud. Wow. Okay. So let's go. Oh, nope, not that way. Sorry. Back. Initial data will set, nav data set, performance data. So we'll hold right here, head over here, and hang on a second. I think I got it better. Okay, sorry about that. Just looked out of alignment there to me. Okay, so we'll go to FMC. Correct aircraft, correct nav data. Program. Okay, so we'll put in our positive, or in our position. V, Victor, Papa, wait a minute, correction, Quebec, Papa, Romeo. Looks like we're pretty close there. We'll drop down. Today being an even day, so I'll take the right one. come back, pop that in there. Let's take a look at the others just to be safe. Okay, now we'll go to route. Put that up there. Victor, Tango, Bravo, Sierra is our destination. Flight for today is Mac Air. It's DRK. Oh, where are you heading? DRK number 5. Okay, I don't know if that's today's real flight that it uses, but Truck Air is the normal airline on this. Okay, next page. Pretty much all we're going to be pumping in here are fixes. Unfortunately, no airways, so it's kind of time consuming. So now would be a good time if you want to grab a cup of coffee. We'll get this all loaded in. Then we have Papa Romeo 708, PRO. Papa Romeo 798. Then SUDIV. V. Next up on the next page will be Belku. Let's make sure. BELKU. Then DAC, Delta Alpha Charlie, Bravo Golf Oscar, I'm really verifying this up Willa on a couple of different formats here to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. And there we go. Probably this, well, yeah, 100.3. We're going to verify. So what I do is just go to Sky Vector. This is set up for the other one. I had 2 plans set up for this today. And okay. East 99, so East 100, okay. Then after Willa comes Aroka, A-R-O-K-A. R-O-M-M-E. Now, a weird one. Let me see if it came up over here. It did not as well. I didn't know it would show. That would be okay. And this almost looks like it's setting up for the other way. But anyway, we'll hold the plan here. Huh. Anyway. Okay, so let me get this up and going. Okay, so Romy. Activate, execute. Okay, so now, next page, we're back to the beginning here. We'll select our, well, first off, let's get over here, run through it. Okay, now we're going to go to the progress page. I see that our IRS appears to have aligned. 1098. Let's see if that matches up with some toolkit. 1083, so we're really close. What I'm going to do while we're on the ground here, I'm going to go ahead and bring Sim Toolkit up. That way you all can see. Alright, so there we go. So we've got 1098 is good. Now for departure. Runway 15. Folks, this is going to be interesting to say the least. I may have to take us VFR, and I'll explain why here in a second. Because we got to zig our way out to PR 708, and then the next 704 will hit right off the runway. Then 708 we have to zigzag around a hill and so forth. So we may have to bring up our visibility here. So back to route. We got 15 in. See if it'll let me save. No, it won't. Okay. All right, so let's go all the way up to the top. Yes, we are aligned. There's our coordinates. One more look. Coming down. Guarded. Off. Fuel pumps off. Let's do a cross-feed check. Let me check something. I don't know if I actually started filling this airplane up yet. I did not. Glad I looked. So we're going to have to wait just a few minutes. Glad I decided to do that. Let's hop outside. Oh, forgot. Yeah, this fog is, unfortunately, is not going to allow us. Right now, we would not be allowed to depart. We're on a delay. So we're going to let the plane get filled up. And once we're full, we get everything done, we'll make the call whether we're not going to try this because I've got to be able to see. But I'll try to lower, see if I can't update visibility to where we can at least see. We can't even see the hills out there, folks. So, all right, so we're filling. That's going to take just a little bit, just to let you know. We're already up to 10,000. So they're going as quick as they can. Okay. All right. So as you can see, everything's locked. We can close these, but we won't get the main door right now until the air stairs up. At a minimum, possibly the chock's removed. All right, so let's return to the FMS. Now we can do a couple things. We can put in our zero fuel weight. Now I could put in our plan. As you can see, that 11.8 is going up. And we're planning 20.8 over there, but we're loading 20.9. So actually, notice how that came together pretty good, folks. Actually, it was 21.3. My bad. Anyway, we'll let it go. But the reserves were Wait a minute. 4.3. We were looking at a 5.3. We'll go with 5.3 for now. These are numbers we can plug in, as well as 8.5 for our cost index. Now, if you let SimBrief do that by just keeping it auto, where you'll look for that at on Sim Toolkit is Sim Toolkit or SimBrief. Sim Toolkit, you'll find it under Load, Performance, Cost Profile, or Cruise Profile, CI 85, or over here in SimBrief, you'll have this chart that starts, and then right at the top, Cruise Sys CI is 85. So that's telling you your CI for this, and this is the Lido format. I don't know about the other formats, how they integrate it in, but that's how you do that. So, and then this also gives you your distance, 1083. We have an average wind westerly at 26. That's the entire trip. They've kind of averaged it for us. So that's why I said we're going to have somewhat of a tail, but mostly crosswind all the way down. And then ISA and all of that. These are things I could put in, but I don't know what they mean or how, so I don't. It's one of those I don't touch. So we're just going to wait on the plane to finish here. So bear with me 1 second here. We're going to take a brief pause, and we'll resume with the performance initialization in just a couple of seconds. Something I gotta take care of, so stand by. Alright folks, I'm back. Sorry for that long delay. Wife took a phone call. I got some chores done around the house. And we never left this view. Let's see. Still froggy. Alright, let's go ahead and finish up what we were doing. We should be full of fuel. And we can check that real quick. Yeah, we are. 2949. So, let's head back down to here. We'll put that in here, 20.9. And cruise altitude, I believe we said 37,000, which is right there. Average wind, again, found right there. 279 at 26. Excuse me. ISA deviations, all of this, I don't know. Now, what I definitely don't know, let's go back to here. Transition altitude is 18,000 for here, 11,000 for Bangkok. Okay, so 18's fine. Okay, since we are aligned, let's go on to the next page. This is where my professional flight planner comes in handy. This is where I get my N1, N2 numbers, and I can also pull up a TopCat program, takeoff performance and landing calculation tool. So takeoff and landing, landing performance calculation. They just shortened it to TopCat, left off the L. All right, we're amazingly, we're somehow overweight. Okay. All right, so we'll go to takeoff, update. This will give me a better METAR. So 160 at 14. Temperatures are 8,000. Woo. All right, so wow, yeah. Broken at 7,000. Okay, yay. All right, ooh, whoa. Okay, there's something I've never seen before. Hang on a second. That's why. Okay, well, we're going to go with what professional pilot came up with. Looks like just a TO takeoff, no D rate, so we'll keep that there. And we'll go to climb 1, but I got a feeling we're going to have to stay there. Let me see. 1 degree Celsius. Why am I getting a temperature of 13? All right, well, with that in mind, that just put the icing on the cake. Stand by, we're going to go to uh, 298. All right, so now let's punch up. Hey, we can see, and down the way we got to go. Now we can kind of see what we got to do. Hated doing that, folks, but there would have been no way you can see the obstacles we had ahead of us. Quite a few. That's why I needed to be able to see them. All right, so back in the cockpit. We were here. Still showing 0 degrees Celsius. Oh well. Which was 32. So we'll stay at that. Takeoff then will be... Here's something you don't normally see. CG at that. Next page. All right, slope, we can get that, which is minus 0.6. I can't put that in, but the heading is 151. Yeah, I don't know how to put the slopes in. If you bear with me a second here, I'm just getting the weather we're showing. We'll put it at 2. All right, so we don't have a select temperature. We're going to the next page. Flaps 10. $135. That's good. 137. $140. That'll be good. Okay. Okay, so we're set there. Let's come up. 151. And we'll go to 150 for our speed out. That should have changed over there. And to be honest, I haven't tried a 0-0 approach in this aircraft yet. It's going to take a little bit to get up to 7,000, so bear with us. comes. Okay, so we're set across the board. Leave that set like that. Panels are set. Okay. All right, folks. So what we've got, and I do again apologize, and I'm making sure I'm not on mute. We've got the aircraft nav data in. We've got the performance initialized. We've got everything looking good right now. As let me come back over here. As you look at this chart here, so our CG is 29.9, giving us a trim of 3.5. Here's our V speeds. Over here, we'll have 8.8 at VTBS. So we'll see. All right, folks, we are loaded up. So let's go back over here. Everything's loaded. 22.9 ZK. Checklists, we got that one completed. Okay, so bear with me as we go through these rather lengthy checklists. We're going to hightail them through. Okay, these three have already been checked. We'll do the mask here momentarily. Set the clock. I just want to put a shout out there for anyone new listening in to do the nose wheel steering here. Real quick, go to home. See how that arrow is pointing towards the edge? Click on it, click configure, click hardware, and then set this to either on, yaw, or roll. Yaw is rudder, roll is going to be moving your stick left or right. Okay, so we'll click home, come back, go to here, and display, take off then that. Okay, so let's get page 1 taken care of. 4 and down. Now, remember yesterday we were told to do the same thing in the 7.4. This is the difference. You can see there's a button now to push. It looks different when it's available. Okay. All right, back up to our checklist. Page 2. Test hold 1, hold 2. Let me show you what those are. Just for those curious, you're going 1, 2, and I go ahead, lean over, 1, 2. Knocks it out for him. Okay. Stab trim. Standby RMI. Speed brake. Reverse thrust. Thrust levers. All down or down and detent. What that is. Okay. Speed brake, make sure is down. Thrust, or here's your reversers, make sure they're down and your thrust is closed. And flap lever set to 0 and flap lever is at 0. So to do that again, up here, well, we're a little high. Here's your flap indication. So it's showing up and the flaps are in up. See, it moves the other way. So there we go. Okay. Parking brake, we know it will set and start levers at cutoff. Start levers are here, they're in cutoff. Parking brake is set. Stem trab set. VHF radio set, seat adjust, and the last three are the same. Okay, so bear with me here. I'm going to go back to the VHF and do a quick setup here. All right, Paro is 1084. next one I want is probably not a... Oh yeah, we do. Dock 112.7. Okay. We'll dial it in over here. And then next, see, I would have taken us down this if I was setting it up to VGO 126. Okay, 22.9, 22.9, 2000, and we're all set. Okay. All right, so we're going to go now through the very long first officer. A lot of these we've done. Fuel panel set, electrical panel set, overheat checks, and fire protection. And okay, so let's do those real quick here, okay? So 5, fuel panel, everything's off. We did our crossfeed check. I hate this. Electrical, okay. Electrical is right here. We're going to go ahead and set that to ground. We're going to keep the APU off at bay right now. We'll set this for 37. And that's a big if. We're not even there. Okay, so we'll keep that at 0. Everything's on auto. We're set on the panel. Overheat panel is down here. We'll do a fire check first. Test. Lights came on. There's the bells. All right, we're gonna turn it up just a smidge. Okay, that works for me. All right, the sun is driving me crazy now. All right. And then APU, equipment cooling, we'll check in a moment. Emergency guarded. We'll get the passenger signs. Park, window heat's on, probe heat's off, wing ice is off, engine ice is off, hydraulics are set, air conditioning set. So what we were doing, window heat's on, probe heat's off, anti-ice off, electrics from hydraulics are now set. We want the electrics off. We also saw emergency lights. We want those guarded. And I believe it was temperature was what they called it. Air conditioning panel. And that's basically right here. We got everything in auto. Temperature is good. Once we get air coming in, this will rise. And our packs and all are set. Okay, so continuing to the next page. Like I said, this one's a long one. Pressurization set, lighting set. We're going to be using ignition select right. Engine starts are at auto. Last checks, we're on the right side, they're at auto. Pressurization set. Okay, finaling out this one. Okay, he's going to test his oxygen. Check his clock, display the select panel. Whoop, missed one. Alright, so basically we go, here's that where I did that for him. Landing gear panel set. We're not going to put it in reject takeoff. Anti-skids are on. Radios are set. Now we're radar set, transponder set. Stave trim will set when the engines are on, and there, we've completed. Now we're at the before start checklist. All right. So folks, we are now ready to push back. We've got to go through our before starts and take it from there. For now, we're going to go ahead and pull away Sim Toolkit. Wrong one. May even pull the overlay away so you guys, in case it is obstructing views, will get that pulled too. Now, for those of you curious, down in the lower right hand corner is a icon for the Discord channel. We are trying to build a group of pilots who are out here to try to learn. I am trying to learn X-Plane, but I can help out with FSX. So, interesting. I thought I hit start recording on. Okay, well, that's okay. Too late now. We're not going to worry about it. But yeah, we're trying to just build a community, so we'd love y'all if you want to follow us for our next destination, which is up in Alaska. Click the follow button if you want to follow us on our next Zibo. It'll come up here shortly. Same with the 747, and I do plan to bring back an oldie but goodie MD-80 flight soon. I just haven't figured out when the best time will be for that. So, but anyway, that kind of gives you an idea what's coming. But yeah, the best way to find out though where Mike's flying, click follow. You'll get an email notification letting you know, hey, he's in the air and this is what he's doing. All right, so where are we? Let me also take a look. All right, so Alpha Luna V1, thank you for the follow, and IAQUWU, thank you for the follow not too long ago. Really appreciate that. Thank you, folks. Look forward to seeing you on future flights. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up here so we can get taxiing out and get in the air. Let's see, where are we? All right, so the flight deck door. Oh, let's start boarding some passengers. So, and I may have to take a quick break here. My middle daughter just called from St. Charles. She may have some news for us that I may want to take a look at. So I'm just putting that out there right now. We may have a little bit of a break. Okay, so the people are loading. Before start checklist. All right, everything's up. Now we'll go back to, what do we got left checklist wise? Pushback. Well, that's a good idea. Well, what we're, okay, everybody's on board. So that'll take us back to the home panel, ground services. Go ahead and close the main door and the cargo so we don't forget. Go ahead and get the chocks. We'll keep those in. We're going to request our pushback. And we're going 1-5, so and we'll go this way. We'll push south.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, so we'll get him coming up.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
And over here. We're going to get the chocks removed. Crank up the APU.
Captain has to on the fasten seatbelt sign. We do ask that all passengers take their seat at this time. Please fasten your seatbelt.
Okay, the APU is firing up.
All turn items are properly put away. All overhead bins are closed and all passengers are seated.
Yeah, I like listening, but they're going to shut the door on me here shortly.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, and we should be getting the signal. The APU's good right here when the gen comes on. Here comes the air. Get the beacon on. And now, as you can see, they've wheeled away the GPU.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
There's the door closed. That's why I don't. Alright, hang on. Let's make sure our pushback was done right. Hydraulic pumps after, for now.
Adjust vertical speed.
Do a test.
Adjust. Climb. Climb now. Climb. Climb now.
Starting
Climb,
pushback,
crossing,
and you may start engines.
Climb. Crossing. Climb. 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 Clear of conflict. Descend. 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 Crossing. Descend. Descend. Crossing. Descend. Descend. Descend now. Descend. Descend now. Increase climb. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
Okay, let's get back down there and get that turned on now. And now I'm comfortable with starting the engines, but let's go through the procedure here first while we're pushing. We'll turn the electric pumps on after pushback. So basically we're going to make sure the packs are turned off, announce that we're going to start right engine first, then left engine. Again, it's from the pilot looking out which side we're starting. Now, we're going to move the start switch to ground. As the N2 increases, no higher than 25%, we'll move the start lever to idle and allow the engine to spool up. Once it hits 56, it'll cut out and we just have to announce it. So if you don't mind, I'm going to see where we are because it sure looks like we're... Okay, we're good. Sorry, it just looked like we weren't where we needed to be. So...
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, and parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, so to start the engines, if you remember the procedure, first off, make sure your fuel pumps are on. Make sure you turn one on for the APU. I've had it shut off on me before. Okay, packs off. Okay, we got to be higher than 35. So we're starting right engine first, so it's one click to the right. Okay, you can hear it spooling kind of in the background. There's what we're watching. When that hits 17,
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Okay, we are fired up. You can see it continuing. Now what's going to happen at 56, let's see if I can, this should move to auto. And starter cutout. Okay, and she'll finish spooling up. Okay, so we did all of that with number 1, or number 2, I'm sorry. Announce, and then we do the same thing with the other engine. Okay, so we got fuel on, packs off, ground. There we go. You got 12, 15. There's 21. She's spooling up. We have a light off. We do have fuel in the center tank, by the way, folks, so we'll get that going probably at the end of the runway. Again. The starter cutout is coming. And the valve is off, starter cutoff complete. Engines are spooling. I will be right back. Okay, folks. Sorry for that delay. Just had to check. Since my daughter just had her first sonogram, we were just getting to see the new little worm coming to us in August next year, or this year. So just wanted to see how the pictures and all looked. As my wife said, a little worm, but it's looking healthy, so that's all that matters. Alright, so we are started up. Let's get over here and click that one. And we'll do the before taxi. Now, we got to get the generators on, the probe heat on, wing ice if needed, packs back to auto, isolation to auto, air bleed off on the APU, and we'll stop there. That's a lot in itself. So we'll check them off and we'll go as we look at them. Okay, so probe heat. Well, first off, generators 1, generator 2 on. We'll go ahead and grab the APU, get the packs on. Alright, so we'll get probe heat on. Go ahead with engine. We actually don't need it. Never mind. Hydraulics on. Yeah, I'll go ahead with the engine. Isolation, APU off. Oh, continuous, yes. Okay. So now we're going to click one to the left. APU or packs and isolation valves are closed. APU valve is closed. Okay, now engine start levers should be in the idle location, and they are. Okay. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy, folks. Ground equipment's clear. We'll set flaps. We'll do a flight check and be ready to roll. Okay, so let me also we're a little late. Okay, so we're filed. So those of you all that want to fly with us, we are now online. Okay, and I also want to get on with Mac Air. 102.3.7. Start. Okay. All right, so final checks work. Ground equipment clear. We got to set our flaps to 10. So hang on a second. Do that from this position because it's a lot easier. Wow. I don't think I've ever brought them down there. Let's make sure we go to 10 and not 15. Alright, we're at flaps 10. Flight control check. See if we can do it better from this side. Yep. Okay, left, right. Elevator. Rudder, otherwise known as yaw. Okay, then we'll just make sure hydraulics are looking good. Okay, let's go back. I know they say to blanket. I don't. I go to that. 4. Alright, so I think we're done with the checklists to before taxi. Let's go through the takeoff here real quick. So departure, make sure we're on the correct runway. That was a factor yesterday, folks. Though the runway was long enough, thankfully, we were on the wrong one. We actually instinctively went to runway 5 when we should have went to runway 2-3. Thankfully, no controllers, nothing, anything like that. So we'll hold that checklist there, just so you know that I missed. Okay, we need the yaw damper on, and that should have us clear of all warnings. And parking brake. And since, let's take a look here. We're going to be going out on the runway here. Let's do that departure brief real quick because there really isn't much to it. So let's get that out of the way. Okay, so let's get Sim Toolkit up here. We'll go through it real quick since I'm remembering it and get it over with here quickly. Okay, so as you look at Sim Toolkit, you're not going to see the V speeds. Now those came from Professional Flight Planner for this flight. Oops, I wanted that one brought up. We're looking at flaps 10, which we're set at. V1, 135, that's our abort speed. V rotate, obvious, 137, 139. We went higher. So let's take a look at them one more time. 133, 137, 140. What I'm doing is setting it so when they announce here in this program, that way it'll be closer to the plane. And save. Alright, so we've got all of that set. Now, back to the, I just set the Mac Air, folks. That's what I was working on. Okay, so let's switch gears. Go to NavGraph here. Here's our route, in case y'all were curious. Pull that up. Little triangle's us, and this is what I was concerned with. Of course, this is not showing high terrain. It will here momentarily until we get out to about here. So we got to be careful how we're maneuvering in here. So we'll see how that all works out. There are no SIDs out of here. That doesn't help us either. So let's switch to the live map so that way you can get an idea. So you can see we're going to be basically following this out. Hopefully hit pro here with no trouble clearing these hills. So we'll find out. So here we go, folks. Parking brake released. Flap set. We're going to reject takeoff now.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, so here we go, folks. We're getting ready to taxi out. Give it a little power. Taxi lights are on. APU off. Paro traffic, Mac Air 572 back taxiing runway 15 for departure. Traffic to worry about. Okay, folks, we're back taxiing on the runway in the correct direction. Actually, I'm going to put the terrain up on our side, so make that a little easier for us to try to thread the eye of the needle here. All right, landing lights on. Okay, here we go, folks, making the turn. Okay, recheck takeoff. Auto throttles on. And again, folks, remember this runway slopes down, so that's a problem for us too. So we'll go ahead and turn on the center pumps. Here we go. Take them up to 60. There goes Toga.
knots.
And power.
V1, rotate, V2.
V1, rotate, positive rate. $400.
Gear up.
1,000.
Terrain. 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 Terrain.
$10,000 feet.
And you can tell I am not even bringing the flaps up yet. Now you folks see why I was a little concerned in all of that fog.
Paro traffic, this is your 505. Hello, sir. Hello, all traffic. Visual approach runway 33 via Bhutan.
Mac Air 572 is clear of Paro, VOR.
Okay, sir, thanks.
And good luck on the approach.
Thanks, sir. And you. I see in my 1 o'clock at flight level 130.
All right, now we can start accelerating. All right. And Mac Air has a visual on you as well.
Yes, FMC said to me for visual and no stars.
Alright, so we can switch now to the, yes folks, autopilot at this point. Alright, we're starting to roll the flaps up now. We're on course. Wow, what a departure. And I think we're safe to go LNAV. Folks, that's the Himalayas. So that was a fun departure. We're still on 7 toolkit. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Alright, let's get back on the flight sim. You all missed a great run. Wow. That's all I can say. Do apologize for having that up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and... Now, many are going to be asking, why was I in the co-pilot seat? That's where all my high terrain was. I wanted to be able to be right by it. We'll switch over now. And we'll bring this up. And again, I do apologize that y'all didn't get to see that departure. That's on me. I forgot to pull Sim Toolkit away. Hopefully nobody was yelling at me that we can't see. Nope, nobody was yelling. Alright, so we are airborne through 18,000. Oh, we did cross 10,000, so that means the landing lights should be off now.
$18,000 feet.
Alright, so let's go to standard. With that call of 18,000, continue our climb out. Oh, we're still flaps. Alright, flaps are going all the way up now. And as soon as they're up, we'll get the speed up and get going on course. So, alright, so alright folks, what I'm going to do is pause the flight here, hoping this works.
$10,000 feet.
2,500. 20.
That doesn't seem like the right speed. There we go. And this will give you a replay of what we were doing. We're just paused out there right now.
Gear up.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Approach altitude. 1,000 feet, stabilize.
Feet.
Anyway, this is just a replay for y'all, so you can watch the departure real quick, since I had that blocked by a Sim Toolkit.
Feet.
Alright, so there you got a flavor of what it was like to come out of there. Let me make sure all of our autopilots are on. Well, hello G-Nice for you. Welcome aboard. We're getting ready here in the next 30 or so miles of doing the arrival brief into Bangkok. Had to switch the weather just to catch up here to VFR because we were instrument out of Paro and too many mountains to worry about to try and get out of there first time on my own in that kind of suit. So we went VFR. Still, it's actually an interesting departure too. So there is no published departure, but it was a fun one nonetheless. As you can tell, we're in the Zibo today, so that's a fun little plane. Love flying it. Maybe not as much as the 7.4, but still, you know, it's fun working plane. Work comes first, understood. Well, the stream's going to be out there still for you. Depending on timing tonight, I may even get this one up with YouTube as well. So I've only had one hiccup with it today where the departure was actually I had the sim toolkit still up through the whole departure, so we paused and did a replay of it so everyone could see getting out of there. So but anyway, I'm glad you're aboard. Trying to learn the airliners and starting with Zibo. This is a good plane to start with. It's real easy. I don't know if you're familiar with the Microsoft side of the house, but PMDG's NGX line with the 737, this is right on par with it. So actually it's got a couple of things it doesn't, but then the PMDG does a few things this one doesn't. So I mean, they balance themselves out. But looking forward to the arrival into Bangkok. It's an airport I kind of haven't flown into in a lot here lately, and I'm kind of glad we're getting a chance to get in there. The real world, Druk DR Delta Romeo Uniform Kilo Air actually flies between Paro and Bangkok daily with A319s. So if you're into the Airbus side of the world, there you go. We're flying the Boeing side of the house with the 737. So 100 people, I think, and you got to watch your payloads because it is 7,300 feet at Paro. So yeah, with temperatures that they get, it could very well compromise, you know, your takeoffs. So A319 might not be a bad plane for it, being it can only have maybe 120 at the most on it. But glad to hear you're enjoying the Zibo and trying to learn it. The checklists that come with the AV tab, let me get in there and point that out. I'm sure you found them. These checklists really help you out, and if you need help in finding where things are, let me know. There's a couple I haven't found yet, and I'm gonna have to dig into my PMDG stuff to try and find it, because I thought I knew where they were, but they're not there. You know, it's that old adage. Alright, so we're just now within 300 miles of Bangkok, so let's go through what we're going to be doing here. Now, originally, we're going to bring Sim Toolkit over. Originally, what was planned... let me get on that page here. Let me pull this out of the way real quick, and... okay. This was originally. So we were going to fly this route. Where things are changing slightly is from Willa on. We're going to actually fly the arrival Willa 3 Delta in. Oh, and that reminds me. Hang on a second. I need to amend flight plan just in case. was our transition again? IGONI. Okay, so we've got that amended just on the outside chance somebody comes up to them, but why aren't you on the right routing? So back with Sim Toolkit. Go ahead and close that out. So this was the original. Now we're flying, like I said, the Willa 3D approach, which is going to still take us to runway 1 left. So let's take a look at it. Let me get up on the live map. And I can actually update that here if I wanted to, but I'm not going to worry. It's minuscule on the air miles and time difference. So, but here you go, folks. You got an idea. Top of descent, I think, is going to be a little further back now, but we'll see. And oh, pardon me for the yawn. And this is our alternate. Okay, so nav graphs up. Okay, so here's the star for the Willa 3 Delta arrival. We're coming in on Igoni. So we're not coming in on the airway, but we're direct from pretty much where the airway started. So Igoni to Willa. Now Willa, we got to be at 280 knots and below flight level 220. From there, we'll track 105 to Meg, ice decks to Bravo Sierra 408, and be above 16,000 there. Then we're going to track down to the 406 at 250, 404 above 11,000, 402 between 9,000 and 7,000 and 220 knots. And then above 4,000 at will call. So let's zoom in over here. Right now I don't see anybody up, but if it, the ATIS is 133.6, airport is only 5 feet above sea level. Transition level is 13,000. We'll get that here in a minute. See anything else that we need to go over here. Let me make sure. Okay, and the minimum safe altitudes are 1,600 feet north and west. Well, what is that? Well, you see the line. So anything from here north, we got to be at least 1,600 feet. There, south 39 and 23, depending which sector you're in. So that gives you an idea. By the way, for those just curious, this was the old Bangkok airport. Don, how do they say that? Munang International? Now it's, hang on. They gotta help me out. Suvarn Bhumi International is the new one. Kind of moved it out of town a little bit. As I remember, it's been a while. This airport's been open now 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So now, once we get to Wokal, we'll be heading for the for the ILS 1 left approach. Now, with no ATC, I can pick what runway I want. And I was thinking cargo, because that's what I 90% of the time haul. I'm in a passenger plane, so I had to figure out where Druk Air lands and goes to. And I'm only guessing here, folks. But it looks like there's this middle concourse. We'll show it to you in a minute. I don't even know if it's a concourse or a baggage grab area. I don't know. But it looks like they may park in that area. But anyway, from Wokal, That just happens to be almost directly across from Lacos. So we'll turn around, we'll be at 3,000 feet, 220, and slowing as we come in, because we're going to be 13, oh no, not sure how far out we are at that point. Doesn't really say, but anyway, we track in on 015 to Lani. Lani is 2,500 feet. Up here we'll find, well, let's just stay in rhythm. ATIS and all of the rest of the frequencies are on the first line. Next line's what's really important to us. Frequency is 109.1. Approach course 015. Now, by Bravo Sierra 488, that is right here, and that's 8.3 miles out. We need to be at 2,000 feet and on, more importantly, the glide slope, GS. And then for Cat 2 arrivals, RA, man. Yeah, just drew a blank on it. The decision height is 105, 100 if you're coming in on Cat 2. Or 230, I'm sorry. Missed approach, should we have to do one, climb straight ahead, 3,000, course 015 to Lanyo. Okay. And we'll go into a hold. Or as ATC decides. Again, transition level 13,000. And that's it for the top half. The bottom half here. So again, we're going to hit it at Lacos, 3,220. Lani should be somewhere around 2,500. Bravo Sierra 488. Glide slope captured, and we should be at or around 2,000 feet. Tracking it in. Final approach. Oh, this is a little. Oh, there it is. We should have Alsif. We're not going to worry about lights because it's daylight. Pappies should be on the left side. Here's the Victorial, if you will. 3,000 feet on a course of 15. Straight out to Lano. Okay. Okay. Just making sure nothing else pertains. So there you go, folks. That gives you what the approach and all looks like. Oh, once we get on the ground, we're going to be heading to this area here. We're going to probably head for like 301, 302, somewhere right in here. And probably come in, taxi, come down and turn in. And give you an overview. So we're going to land here, come off wherever we come off, and then head over to Gulf and then into the infield here. Alright folks, so there's your arrival charts. Oops, let me get rid of that and do that. So we're back out with the plane. You got an idea how far out we are now here. And we'll zoom down a little. Now you can see where we are on the map as we make the turn. Lastly, the VREF for this arrival. We, from dispatch, were planned 129 on the VREF, 137. Well, that's flaps 40. So I'm going to do a flaps 30 arrival. So we are now 220 miles out. So we'll kind of see what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, Sim, first off, G-Nice for you. The Sim Toolkit, it's a free download. It's in beta, so, you know, there could be some quirks here and there with it, but it's a solid program. If you stream, they've got tools for you. That's where the overlay comes in, telling you where I am. how far I gotta go. Oops, hang on a second. Speaking of which, almost repeated our takeoff. So that overlay across the top, that's from Sim Toolkit. Here, I'll show you where that's at. Let me bring it back here real quick. Give you a quick overview of it. This is the live map, and you can put it in a couple of different maps from day, light, dark, which is a lot like looking at it nav graph like this. I don't like that one too much. The light one's okay. The map link or mapnik, that kind of puts the roads on there. So if you're kind of familiar with the territory you're flying on, you can see the roads and see the little towns and all along the way. It's kind of neat. Topographical is a lot like this, just more of a plain-like map. I like this because, like, when you're in the Himalayas, you get a feel for what you're going into with the mountains. Same with the Alps. Same with these mountains out here in Southeast Asia. Flight planning, basically, it's got a couple of ways. You can set your flight plan up through this program, or SimBrief, which is free. You can set it up through there as well. Hang on a second. There we go. And when you put it to a PDF, when you click link from, let me show you here. I don't think if I lose it, I lose it. No big deal. Oh, I've got to go back. So if I click create new plan, it'll take me back. It's going to pull your last PDF that you created in SimBrief, and it's going to put it on the map and spell it out a little bit here. If you have the aircraft, which mine for some reason does not, there we go. And I can also go in there at the same time and update it. So let's just say, hypothetically, we change runways and we end up coming in on the 19 right. I could change that to say that, and anything else. Like right now, if I wanted to, I could put, matter of fact, I will. Just for example. Give it a second. Trying to remember how it's spelled. There we go. Alright, so we'll just do that. Alright, so what we're going to do, from here to here, we're going to change. I think I copied it. I sure did. Doggone it. Hang on a second. Knew I was going to do that. Okay, so you see how it's changed to the Agoni Alert 3. Simply click Update Plan, which it just did, and update. Now let's see if that really and truly updated. No, it did not over here, but it did here. So, and that has to be done in SimBrief, because I know this is pulling from there. But anyway, now when we go to the live map, however, it'll show the arrival as soon as it refreshes. Well, kinda, sorta, maybe. Anyway, so you get the idea. You've got those features. Now, the big ones on here, besides flight planning, you can make a schedule. It keeps a logbook, keeps fleet. So as long as your SimBrief aircraft hangar matches here, it'll all really mesh together to allow you to set up a flight plan in FatSim or IVAO, FS Cloud, Pilot's Edge. So it gives you all of that. This is all just different overlays. It also, let me see if I can get it to zoom out here. It's, I think, refreshing. There it goes. it shows radar returns. You can turn that on or off. Same with the clouds, I think. Anyway, so you can kind of play around with the controls up there. If you're a streamer, there's things for streaming, setting these up to what you want. So yeah, it's a really good program. And again, if I didn't mention it, it breaks the bank every time you try to use it. It's free. So yeah, anytime they say free, Mike's looking at it. Alright, so let me get zoomed back in. See what I mean by how the Himalayas just come right out? That is actually very impressive. And I'm set for centered, so it's hard. Let me go out a little further. It kind of looks like the Earth just shoved up into the air. The way it looks. So, but yeah, I mean, it's massive, obviously. That's where Mount Everest is and all of that good stuff. So, I think it's known for it. So, let me pull this away here, get into the airplane and see what we got coming up. But that's where this overlay comes from, is from some toolkit. So, anyway, now, I don't get it. Okay, well, we'll go ahead. Now, if you remember right, well, we'll show it to you. We've got just a few more minutes to do this. On Sim Toolkit, we were at NavGraph. Up here in the top, here's your transition level, transition altitude. One of them's departure, one of them's arrival. I don't know which one it is. I'm going with the higher one, 13,000. Okay, so we take that number. And we put that right there. So what you would do, let's go back to the, where I normally sit is on the progress page. So we go to the descent page. On the 777 and the 74 and the 76, you may have to click the VNAV page or next page to get to this. Once you're here, you'll see forecast. Then you'll put in your number, 130. Oh. So now that's set up. Click execute. Now, when we cross 13,000, it will say we need to change it to the correct. Technically, in this configuration, we don't have to where we're flying VFR. But on a normal day with weather, you could then set your barometric pressure and come on in on your altimeter. And normally what they do here is they'll put winds in and speeds to help with, the descent. And folks, if the music's too loud to anything, let me know. We'll get it turned down even more. 00 by 0010. Thanks for the follow. Great user thing there. Appreciate that. Alpha Dos Luna, V3 and V1, thank you also for the follow. Okay, so let me get into the cockpit now. Set that so we're 16 is as low as we want to go. Now, remember the let's see here. The chart said we had to be below 22, so that we've got made now with 16, but we have to stay above 16 here at BS 408. So I'm gonna try and see if that's gonna be too much or not. Turn that just a little more down. And when we get into the range on the chart, you'll see us tracking. Right now we're still outside the range. We'll keep it there on the star, so you can kind of follow us as we're coming in. We're 59 miles now from Magoni. Again, Willa, we got to be below 22,000. BS 488 above 16,000. All right, we're going to go ahead and go for we're going to go ahead and start the descent. We'll kind of keep it like this for now as we start our descent. Now, one thing we'll be watching here. Okay, we're showing that the target speed is Mach 0.80, so we'll hold this as long as possible till our indicated speed reaches 290, and then this figure takes over. So let's take a look at where we're at. So right now we're at about 270-ish. So once this comes up to about here, then instead of it following the Mach number, it'll follow 290, and it should hold 290 the rest of the way. Of course, it'll drop to 280 under Willa. Yeah, that arrival into Miami. Yeah, I ended up high, close in, and was able to get the aircraft to fall out of the sky, literally, but then land on the wheels nicely. I don't recommend that. Probably should have done a go around. But it is flight sim. Okay, so we are now very close to 290. We'll see if it takes over. There it goes, 290. You see the speed just come on the speed dial here. So that's as fast as it's going to let the plane. Theoretically, that's how it should work. Real world, it does. The sim world, we'll see. But you'll see this vary as it's using the vertical speed now to control that. Okay, so 2 hours, 15 minutes into the flight. 3 hours, almost 4 hours is streaming. And we're slowly getting into the pattern. Sometimes I think the same music just plays over and over and over on this. Okay, so we're 27, and you can see it's holding 290. Now, it is showing us making, we'll be definitely under 22 by Willa. Looks like a Goni, we might make it. So what I'm going to do is go to VS, tell it to stop. What was that? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, so we are now 18 miles from Igona, and then Willa. Forgot about we had Nemig across. So about in Nemig will be at 16,000, which is fine now. All right, so hopefully in the next 30 minutes we'll be on the ground. Speaking of which, let's do some checklists. Okay, so we've modified the route. We got the RMP, which is fine. Descent, pressure is a verify, recall we got to do. Approach will make Paro set, nav radios. Oh, we got to set those, yes. Okay. All right, whoops, let's first step one. Like I said, we're going to do a flap 30, arrival, 109.10, 15. Okay, so set this. Six. Okay, and you can see us now tracking here on the nav graph for the arrival. .10. Okay. Okay, we got that one set. All right, and 17.7. Okay, for now we'll keep that set. That just gives us an idea how far out we are. Alright, so there's Bangkok. That's our, and the other thing, we can't check that. Never mind. I got myself into the big Boeing thing. It's not. And do a brakes 3. Head over here. Paros, everything's minimums, navs, auto brake, descent checklist complete. Alright, so let's go through the approach real quick. So, if flaps 15, ground proximity, flap limit, inhabited, we're not worried about that. At or below, above 10,000, fixed lights on. It's actually at or below. Passenger signs are about to come on, transition levels coming, updating RNIP. And just to go through, we'll arm the localizer, verify capture, drop the landing gear. Now I wait till the as it says, glide slope slide, meaning it's moving down. And then at that point I get the gear down. Flap will bring down, once the gear's going, and as needed along the descent. Engine starts are already in continuous. We'll arm up the speed brakes, make sure it illuminates. And at glide slope capture, flap lever as directed, missed approach altitude set.
18,000 feet.
That is not for us, that's just to let us know. However, let's go ahead, put them in their seats. Which means we can do this. I probably did that early. Oh well. And so used to that being a different one. Let's go to the middle. All right.
$1,000 to go.
All right, so we're coming up on 16,000. Technically, we're over Bangkok. It's a big city, folks. And we'll go ahead and start slowing as we've reached 16,000. We'll dial this one down. Okay. Now, our next altitude restriction is 11,000, which is at 404, but we go through a speed transition to 250 along the way. And again, for now, I'll keep NavGraph up there for y'all so y'all can see it, follow along as best you can. I don't know how well visible it is. There we go. See how that looks down there. I just get this little window to see, folks, so doing the best I can here. That looks pretty good. Alright, so as we come into Bangkok here with the Zibo 737 here in X-Plane, we've got all our checklist items done to landing. Currently we don't need any flaps or any speed brakes. We're good on speeds. We'll make the turn, start our descent to 11,000, slowing to 250. That turn is, looks like about 10 miles ahead of us. 12 miles. But folks, those of you out in the chat room following along, looking at it, enjoying it, folks, if you want to fly with us, click follow. You'll get an email notification letting you know the next time Flying with Mike is airborne or streaming, heading somewhere. Next up is Alaska. By all means, click follow. It's the easiest way to get that email notification. Okay, in 8 miles, we'll make that turn to where we'll be descending to 11,000. So I'm going to go ahead and set that up here in the MCP. And what we'll do is we'll click level change, make sure it goes into the descent, and then we'll go back into VNAV, see if it does the descent. Now the one thing I don't really like the 7.3 about, I can't control the speed. So if I want to slow it down right now, I don't even know if I can click speed. No. Where the bigger Boeings, I can click the speed knob or push the speed knob and start slowing. See. So that's one of my pet peeves with the 737. It's not with X-Plane, and that's not with PMDG. It's an X-Plane thing. And I try to keep the heading selector close with it. For some reason, if the FMC starts going the wrong way, boom, I'm on it. And I've had that a few times. There's the old airfield off to our right, and that's right over here, folks. And again, we just have to be above 11,000. Let's see now if it holds. There it goes. Okay, so that'll control us down. Then off of this fix, we are looking at BS 404 at 11. Off that one, BS 402, which is 13 miles ahead of that one, 9 to 7,000 feet, 220. We will then begin slowing for the approach. Okay, so now we're cleared to 9. Oh no, we're still, well, we're still doing good. We'll watch it. So we're on 404. 402 is the one we're gonna make sure. And selector up. Bring it down to 8. Okay. In perfect world, if everything's set right, it should hold at 11 and then go down. If it so we'll see. And then of course once we're below 10,000, okay, there's the airfield. I have it in sight off the left side here. Those of you having trouble finding it, it's right here. And we're passing by the old airfield right now. And then our runway is right there. Okay, so let's go through some of the checks. We're below the transition, so first things first. Okay, switch to decision altitude. Being radio, okay, 100 feet. All right, we are slowly working our way in. 1.1 miles. We're above 11,000, so we're good. We just have to be above 7, so I'll set that for 7. Then after that, it's above 4. The nice thing about this approach, as you look at it here, we see how much we lose. You can't see it. Here's the end of the approach, and it happens to be right across from the start of the long ILSN, 15 to 20 miles out. Okay, we're above 11,000, so that's good. I am going to go ahead and feed us in. That way we can see. Let's go ahead. Set up for the ILS. Now, what tail do we have? Looks like the blue tail. Okay, so the blue tail is the only one that has the gang bar here, where it'll let you turn them all on at once. Okay, and we're slowing. Okay, and we are right now almost at 9,000 feet, which is what we have to be by here. But above, or below 9,000, but above 7,000. Well, thank you, G-Nice, for you. Appreciate that sentiment that we have one of the most informative and educational streams. I try to make it that way to help y'all out. Decision altitude here technically is 230 feet. We're going to be switching to that. Oh, why are you being such a pain here, laptop? To me, with the plane, sometimes decision attitude is what I think it is. Alright, so it's being a pain. Alright, so... Alright, my laptop's being a bit of a pain right now, so bear with me. I have a feeling the last legs of this one is going. So is my old computer. So hopefully they don't both go at the same time. So we'll try to keep up with your comments here, folks, but right now my easy look is gone. And see if this catches up with y'all. There we go. Things are starting to... Hey, my laptop decided it wants to play nice now. Okay, so we're past 402, so we're heading down to 4,000. And what I'm going to be doing here in a minute is switching views for you all. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that right now. So as you can see, Wokal, we're at 4,000 feet. That's where we're going to make the turn for the runway. I'm just going to go ahead and get that up for you. So we come in on Lacos. So I'm going to be quiet here for a moment while Janet, my wife, takes a phone call for work. So we'll be back with you. We'll be working it. We'll be on the stream. So we'll be right with you. All right, folks, so we're coming back on here. We're making the turn for the ILS. Let's go ahead, arm the localizer. See if it'll grab it this time. We're going to actually we're going to get over here and start slowing this bird down. Flaps 1. That'll help. Let's actually go to flaps 2. Okay, there's the glide slope.
Thousand to go.
Okay, stow the brakes. Actually, let's get them into the armed position. Flaps 5. Because we're going to be switching to approach. Localizers grabbed. Let's see what happens here. Okay, now what I did here is I turned on both channels here. We're going to see if it'll lock in for an auto land. I'm going to go ahead and land it myself, but I'm just kind of on the curious side. I'm going to start dialing down to 180. Actually, all the way down to 160. Currently do not see the runway. Okay. We are level at 3,000. We're 15 miles out. Okay. So we're at flaps 5. I could take us to flaps 10 here. I probably will. I think I got the airfield, just not my runway yet. Go ahead and go to flaps 10. We'll hold that. We'll go to 160. I'm actually really slow. I'm really far out. Believe it or not, if 13 miles out at this slow, yeah, we're... As soon as I see the runway, I'll probably take over. Okay. Now, the localizer or glide slope has become alive. It's now dark, what they call alive, and it's actually moving. So let's get over here. We're about to lower the gear. Is that the dog barking? What? Okay. Sorry about the distraction, folks. Okay, now our glide slope is on. Here comes the gear down. Gear in transit.
2,500.
Gear down.
Missed approach altitude set. Speed brakes armed. Okay. Definitely have the runway. Let's go for another layer of flaps. Okay, final check. Speed brakes armed, reject or auto brakes at 3, and flaps now at 30. And we're way high of the glide slopes. We're starting to sink in. Now some tips, especially when there's no wind, folks. If you find yourself, now you got to kind of actually correct for it. Technically we're missed approach, but anyway, when this starts falling or gaining, you can use your thrust to try to help you. Same thing, instead of ailerons here, if this is starting to drift like it's trying to, use the rudder. It'll help steer the nose sometimes right in the direction you need it. If it gets too outrageous, yeah, you'll have to use the control wheel then.
1,000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, missed approach altitude set.
Okay, we're 30. Speed brake armed. Gear down, 3 green. See how we're drifting a little to the left, which I don't know how in a calm wind. And still a little high.
500.
So we're going to go ahead and bring more power back.
400. 400. 300. 300.
Okay, we got the airfield made.
200. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Reverse thrust. Try not to go more than 40. And by 40, I mean 40% on your N1. And N1, we can bring those off. We'll keep them in idle. Here's the taxiway. If you don't mind, I'm going to cheat since I have that ability too. A lot longer than I should have gone, but you know what? We also landed a lot longer than I should have. All right, and Bangkok traffic, we are clear, runway 1 right. Okay. All right, so we're going to turn that, make sure it's not moving. Let's bring those all the way up. That's off. Speed brakes are down. Trim set. Okay. After landing, brakes off, speed lever down. Probe heats are going to go off. Exterior lights off. Engines to auto. So let's do that real quick. Engine ice off. Auto. Auto. On, on, on. Okay. Weather radar, flaps are up, and transponder as needed. Shutdown's next, and we're already on the move. Why do we have a caution? Oh, the anti-ice. I ain't worried about that. And let's go ahead. Real quick, coming up. Looks like this is before that one renovation we saw. Okay, so let's clear that. And by, oh no, it doesn't show up here either. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway. We'll take the outer taxiway. Okay, and the APU is available. so alright folks, welcome to Bangkok. Just got a little further to go on the taxi. And our stream on our laptop encountered another error. Go figure, go figure, go figure. Hang on a second. Alright, so while we taxi in, I saw there was a question out there. Another butter. Uh-oh. I didn't get to see what it said. I may have to look it up. Thank you for the butter and very nice. Alright, let's see what Sim Toolkit did record. 399 feet a minute. That's fine by my book. That's where we're going to be parking right here, folks. So what we got to do is come in. Actually, I don't know. Should come in one side, turn around, come down the other. Oh, it is set up that way. Okay. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be parking down around this end of it. Brought some of the sounds back up for us. And so electric fasten, collision, okay. Get those landing lights off. Okay, so we're into blocks. Let's get that parking brake on if it's not already. And we're going to get the electrical power set and start the shut down the engines. So, electrical power being here and here. APU bleed is on. And down to the bottom here, just because it's much easier. Okay. Any collisions are already probably off. They are. Wing lights are off. Fuel pumps, they stay on. Wing anti-ice is already off. Fuel pumps coming off except for one for the we're on APU. Page 2. Anti-ice is off. We'll set the hydraulic. Recircs are set. And the flight directors can go off. There and there. Up top. We finish up with what I was starting. Hydraulic pumps off. Fuel pumps are off. Crossed. We're set. Okay. Final page. Transponder to standby APU as needed. Alright folks, welcome to Thailand and Bangkok. We hope you've all had a great flight. And let me just do the last step. And let's go ahead. Alright, we're going to go ahead and kill Alright, folks, we are in Bangkok. Let me get the other side here. Let me just come around to the front. Welcome to Bangkok, like I've said. We had a great flight. We enjoyed it. Hope you all did too. 4 hours and 37 or so minutes. But it was a blast none the least. Landing rate here. First off, let's not be remiss and forget to do our time with Mac Air. They recorded us in at 181 feet a minute. I don't know if there was a bounce or not. Could be. So we'll stop the flight. And then we'll file the PIREP. And we got that. So hang on a second before I close completely out of that. Refresh. PIREP was submitted. Don't know where the error came from, but there was an error somewhere. So we'll see. Can't do anything about it now. Alright, so it is pending, so that's good. They've received it. We'll close that out. But yeah, folks, we are in Bangkok, and we'll close that if we didn't already. Alright, and for sim brief, I know I talked about it en route, but you can see there at the bottom, it's saying our flight record recorded at 399 feet per minute. So, you know, there is a discrepancy. And also, by the way, there's the arrival that we flew. And another trick, G-Nice for you, that Sim Toolkit has, if you're at an airport you're not familiar with, which is 99.9% of the airports we fly into, you can zoom in and voila, taxiways, parking spots, the whole 9 yards. So they give you, say you're in an event and they say you need to park in spot 301. So you'll use, well, actually we're in too close for that. This one's hard to see. They don't give you the taxiway. A lot of times they'll give you the taxiways. Oh, that's what's going in there. So that's what's missing, is this set of blocks here. So that's what's going to be coming eventually. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But anyway, so that, another neat little feature. Again, it's a free program, folks. So, and you can again get an idea just how big Bangkok is. So, anyway, folks, we had a blast. Let's go ahead and get rid of that one last time. Where are we at? Love when I get lost here what I've done. I'm going to go ahead and pull away the overlay as well. So, we can do this. Over there, in that big brown area right here, that's where that terminal is supposed to be, and then taxiways on the other side. Stuff to come. New Orleans has the same kind of deal where the new terminal isn't drawn yet on it. They still use the old one. I don't even know if the new terminal's being used, I'll be honest. A couple of other airfields I found that at. But anyway, folks, we've had a great time. If you like what you see and enjoyed the flight and want to see more, click the follow button. That'll give you an email notice letting you know when Mike is flying. If you want to join our growing community in our Discord channel, down there in the lower right that I've got highlighted up here. Actually, it's only highlighted for me, not for you. But anyway, where hopefully my mouse will end up for you. You'll see Flying with Mike. It's the Discord channel shortcut. Click there and that'll get you right into our chat area. So, folks, on behalf with Flying with Mike, I want to thank you for flying along. We've had a great time. Any suggestions you want of where we want to fly to, by all means, come over to our Discord channel. Leave it there, or, we are in the 20th century at least. We haven't maybe crossed over, as some think, to the 21st. I am 55 years old, so that's why I put it that way. Here is our Facebook page. Give us send it out to us. Let us know, where would you like to see us go out of Bangkok? Ideas I have is Hong Kong. I don't know how Katai is modeled in X-Plane, so I don't know if I can shoot that. Singapore. Those are two that come to mind real quick. Or somewhere up into China, or out into Indonesia, or potentially further into Australia. So anyway, we thank you for flying with us. We hope you have a great Tuesday. Sorry folks, working 24 on, 48 off. The days kind of become one. So we hope you enjoyed the flight, and thank you for flying with Mike, and y'all have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you Thursday, 3 o'clock Central Time-ish in Alaska. Y'all have a great day.